Nick, I'll point to you. Your thoughts.
All right, so aside from the toxicity part of it, let's remove that for a moment.
Okay.
Kevin Durant's right about a lot of this. LeBron James, I wouldn't use the word fanboys, just like I wouldn't have used the word blog boys the way he did a year ago when he was calling out me and Shannon by name. And now when he's talking about this, I think it's pointed comments. I think I'm one of those people. What up, Steve?
Yeah, I think that I've been very, very fortunate to know LeBron and his group and to kind of know of his life and what happens behind the scenes. I was very, very fortunate to be good friends with Michael Jordan, traveled around the country, playing golf, going to championships, and then my brother was drafted by the Lakers. So I have seen, in the last 40 years, I have seen three of the most iconic players. And if you remove Durant's comment with LeBron, you could just put those other guys in there. Magic Johnson, oh, he got his coach fired. All right, with the Los Angeles Lakers. A lot of the same thing. Michael Jordan, it's legendary, the stories, how tough it was to be. They were the Beatles. And, Jenna, you know, we were following Michael Jordan. It was difficult. And now with LeBron, it's still the same thing. So I didn't take those comments as if we haven't seen that ever before.
Well, and maybe Kevin Durant, just because of his age, doesn't have the history you have as far as seeing it with Magic, seeing it with Michael. I mean, Kevin Durant's younger than I am. So, like, but what he's talking about is guys in the media. And when he says beat writers, he's talking about Brian Windhorst, he's talking about my pal Dave McMenamin. When he's talking about the national media, myself, Shannon, guys that are unabashed fans of LeBron while being commentators. And to which I would say to Kevin Durant is this. How could you not be? This is a distinctly American story of amazing success against unimaginable odds and a guy who has had unreal pressure and expectations put on him at every step, scrutiny the likes of which Durant dealt with about 10% of the scrutiny LeBron dealt with his whole career once he went to Golden State, and has, off the court, kind of crumbled underneath it. LeBron has never had a public misstep. His biggest mistake publicly raised $3 million for charity. He put his friends through college to then run his business. He literally built a school in Cleveland and is putting 1,200 kids through college himself. Like, absolutely, I'm a fan of LeBron James. And why would you not be? In addition to, oh, yeah, he's creating the best basketball resume, arguably, in league history. Nobody has had the on-court and off-court impact in this league maybe ever, certainly since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, as far as handling the political side of things, the social side of things, and the basketball. And for KD to say it creates a toxic environment, I don't know what's toxic about that. I think it's honest. I think there's some jealousy from KD because he is such a great player and doesn't get nearly the adoration, but he hasn't earned it as of yet to the degree LeBron has.
Is there any truth to what he was saying, that star players in the league just don't want to play with LeBron? See? Not
from what I hear. And I got a pretty good relationship with the guy who's a star in this league, and that's not what they're saying. And I think that has a lot to do with Kevin Durant and him leaving Golden State. I think it's easier, because you've never heard Kevin Durant say anything like this before. And I've seen him make missteps as far as his interview. I don't expect him to be an expert as far as the media. So for me, I'm not going to be as critical as Nick or someone else might be, because I don't really care that much. I don't expect him to be an expert basketball player and also be an expert as far as the media is concerned. Yes.
Listen, the premise of this article was, the headline was, why doesn't anyone want to play with LeBron? And I just think it's a flawed premise. Yes, Kyrie wanted out. Now, the reporting on that is Kyrie, the breaking point for him was he found out he was being shopped. That made him mad, and so he wanted out. It was partially about wanting his own team, not wanting to be around LeBron, but it was really, oh, you might trade me for Paul George? Let me get out of here. And then there's Paul George, who re-signed with OKC before LeBron even signed with the Lakers. That was about Paul George wanting to stay in Oklahoma City, and guess what? Paul George averaging a career high in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. He made a good decision. Yep. If this summer comes around and they don't get anybody, and Anthony Davis says you can trade me, but trade me anywhere but to the Lakers, then there'll be some credence to this. There's no evidence to me that league stars have said, don't want to play in Los Angeles with LeBron James.
Right. I think the word toxic, I believe he could have used another word. But Kevin Durant's been in a couple situations. I just wonder what that situation felt like. I wonder what it felt like when he decided to leave and go to Golden State, and they asked him had he talked to Russ, and he said yes. And come to find out, he hadn't talked to Russ. So I'm not going to call that a toxic environment, but I just wonder what that day was like what that situation was like. I wonder what it was like to be between where Klay Thompson was sitting. I wish that could have been me. Mm-hmm. And one of my teammates said, man, we don't need you, B. We don't need you. We was winning championships before you got here. I wonder if that was kind of toxic, very, very spicy. I wish I just could have been there. So I've been live long enough to have seen both of those situations. So
there's certain athletes that have earned a somewhat of a reverence from the media. Tom Brady's one of them. Tom Brady, like, there's a lot of, you could say there's a lot of Tom Brady fanboys in the media. What is there to criticize? You know what, like, the guy hasn't made public mistakes that I can think of, and he doesn't even have the non-football stuff LeBron has going for him. LeBron's one of these guys. Derek Jeter, you could argue, was raised to that level. Like, that is, I don't look at what Kevin Durant said, aside from the toxic stuff, as wrong, but I also don't look at it as a negative. Like, there are guys that Steph is on his way, by the way, to getting to that level as well, as far as who he is off the court and who he is on the court. And you can still say, you know, should have made those free throws against San Antonio. Yeah. You can still be critical of on-court failures, but recognize what the accomplishments are over now a decade and a half professional career.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.